Hi, this is Terry and Dean Stoltzfus, owners of Stoltzfus Feed Supply. We are here at our retail store in Gap, Pennsylvania, and we are proud members of the Western Chester County Chamber of Commerce. We are excited to sponsor the Chamber's live show, Western Chester County Checks In. At Stoltzfus Feed, we can help feed and care for your animals, large and small, from wild birds to horses, dogs, cats, and everything in between.
We welcome you to visit us at our store, Stoltzfus Feed Supply in Gap, Pennsylvania.
Good morning and welcome to Western Chester County Checks In. I'm your host Justin Chan, and we are coming to you live from our offices at the Lukens Executive Office Building in downtown Coatesville. It is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. We have a great show for you today, including a community update from the Coatesville Area Library, and we have member minute segments from Greg Pilotti Furniture and Pope John Paul II Regional Catholic Elementary School. But first, some business and some events. So the Chamber has a few upcoming events we wanted to talk about. The Municipal Update Lunch is this Friday from 11 a.m. to 1:30. If you haven't registered, we do not have any more in-person seats available, but there are virtual seats left, so feel free to email and register for that. And then our next virtual event is Time for the Trades, and that's coming up on December 9th from 6:30 to 7:15. For information on both of those events, please visit our website, westernchestercounty.com. In other business news, Prosper Bank in downtown Coatesville had a ribbon-cutting event yesterday. We're excited to announce that one of our longtime members has changed names. Coatesville Savings is now Prosper Bank. Chamber staff, along with city, county, state, and federal officials, were on hand to listen to remarks by Prosper Bank leadership. Prosper Bank has served the Coatesville community since 1919. Their culture puts associates, customers, and the community at the forefront. And we wish Prosper Bank the best of luck with their new branding and name in downtown Coatesville. If you might have noticed at the beginning of our show, we now have a presenting sponsor for Western Chester County Checks In, Stoltzfus Feed Supply. They wanted to tell us about an event that's coming up this weekend. On Saturday, they're doing professional pet holiday portraits with Santa. That'll be on the 21st from 10 a.m. to 2. It's only $20, includes a 5x7 print and a holiday gift bag. If you're interested in that, please call for an appointment. The number is on your screen there, 717-442-8280. It's time for our community update segment this week. Rachel and I had a chance to go out to the Coatesville Area Public Library last week to find out a little bit more about what they're offering now and some of the renovations they recently did.
Hi, I'm Rachel Cassell with Western Chester County Chamber of Commerce. I'm at the Coatesville Area Library, where we're going to go inside to speak with Director Penny Williams about the history of the library.
The library was begun by Rebecca Lukens back in the 1800s. We're at our current location here at 501 East Lincoln Highway in Coatesville since 1974. We have continued to improve our children's collection, our young adult collection. Lately we've been buying lots and lots of graphic novels, and we've been using some of our money for our ebooks and audiobooks, which are available on the Libby app, and also our magazines are on the Flipster app.
We also talked to Pat Bush, the library's treasurer, and she tells us about the recent renovations.
The renovation project came about because of a need that we had for a new heating system. Our heater was costing a lot of money to repair, and in some cases wasn't even able to be repaired. So we started looking for grants, and one of the options was a grant with the Department of Community Development. When we went and spoke with them, they were very accommodating and encouraged us to go back and look at our physical plant to see, what else they might help us with. And so that led to the renovation of our front doors, our heating, air conditioning, insulation, and carpeting.
Being a public space, COVID has been especially difficult for the library. Penny tells us how they've adapted.
The pandemic has been very difficult for the library because of the quarantine. Primarily, we were closed from March the 14th till June the 8th, after which we only had staff in to try to prepare things, putting up plexiglass barriers, moving furniture around for a 6-foot distance. And then on June the 15th, we opened back up to have only curbside pickup of holds. Nobody was allowed in the library except for staff. Later in August, we opened up so that people could come into the library one at a time and with a maximum of 10 in the library. But now people can come in, pick out books, they can pick up their holds, they can request faxes, they can make copies, they can use the computers. We've set up the computer systems so that there is a 6-foot distance between them so people can come in and apply for jobs, type up their resumes, look for some sort of social assistance if they need it, and still be able to access the internet, because many of them in this area do not have access at home. They can also use our printer, and the children can come in and pick out books. We're not allowed to have that many people in the library, but we are doing a lot of what we normally do.
Despite COVID, the library still offers a lot of services to the community. Penny tells us about their partnership with the Chester County Intermediate Unit.
We're really excited about our partnership with the CCIU right now. Patty Hill is our storyteller who does story time along with Shannon Jarvis. Every Friday they film something and then we put it on YouTube, and we have a great story time. Now, we're also working with the IU with about 32 young moms who have infants and very small children, and we're working with them with the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. It's very easy to have children reading or actually hearing books. 1,000 books before kindergarten. We have board books, we have easy read books, we have picture books, and we're loaning those out to the moms, and they're able to access the library. Many of them do not have transportation to and from the library that they would need, and as I said, they often have infants, and so this is a way we can serve the underserved people in our community, and we're really happy to be doing that.
All these programs would not be possible without fundraising efforts. The business community has been very supportive of the library, including a fundraiser last year that saw a large turnout of donation items from local businesses. Pat tells us about upcoming fundraising efforts.
The annual fund drive is key to our success for 2020, and also to set us up to be more successful in 2021. So we have an email list of our patrons, and we can email blast them, which we have done twice, and then they can respond back through donations. We've also done mailings to various people in the community, and what it will do for us is help us reach our budget. This year more than ever, our income was typically generated from room rentals, from fees and fines and operational revenue that we're missing this year because of the virus.
The library is a pillar of our Coatesville community.
Moving forward, I would love to have the library have more of an outreach focus to those in the community that are not reached or are underreached, those who have little to no transportation to and from the library, those who are elderly and or housebound that would like to get things from the Coatesville Library and have an interaction with those folks. I love my job, I love this library, and I love Coatesville.
Visit the library and check out all the great services they offer. Reporting for Western Chester County Checks In, this is Rachel Cathell.
Thanks, Rachel, for that report, and thanks to the library for letting us visit. Unfortunately, we do have a correction on the update that we provided for Stoltzfus Feed and Supply on the last segment. The photos with Santa, unfortunately, were canceled this weekend, so my apologies for putting out that information. We just got that update in during the show. If you would like to have your business or nonprofit featured on our show and you're a chamber member, we'd love to have you. Please reach out to Rachel by email, rachel@westernchestercounty.com. For our Member Minute segment this week, Alyssa and I had a chance to go out to Greg Pilotti Furniture in Parksburg to find out a little bit more about his business and what his company has to offer.
Thanks, Justin. Alyssa Griffith here today at Greg Pilotti Furniture Maker in Parksburg. We joined Greg today where he told us about his background and how he got involved in custom woodworking.
I'm a 2008 Coatesville graduate. Furniture I liked because it was a scale that you could really master details in. Furniture just seemed more attainable to me. I went to Thaddeus Stevens College in Lancaster City, graduated in 2015. I had apprenticed while I was at school, and that's one of the big things that they do with that school is you work while you're in school, and came out, started my own shop in May of 2015, and here we are today. We recently bought a millwork shop, an architectural millwork and molding shop, 5 miles down the road in Compass, which has 4 employees, which has doubled our capacity and doubled our size.
Greg explains what they have to offer at each of their locations.
At the millwork shop, we make custom moldings, so things like crown moldings, baseboards. A lot of these items may be for historic renovations, things that you're not going to buy off the shelf. Here at the furniture shop, we mainly build custom conference tables as well as other office furniture pieces. We build these for large corporations, small corporations. We ship them all over the country. We also do work for amenity spaces, things like the big lobbies for hotels, the shared apartment communities that you see popping up in the area, the pool tables and all the cool stuff that you see going to hotels and apartment buildings.
He explains why his company is so successful.
One of the things about what we do is it's not an item that you can really just go to a store and buy. So if you're setting up a conference room in your office, you can't really go to Staples or Ashley Furniture or any of these other places and find a 25-foot by 5-foot grain-matched white oak quarter sawn table. It's not going to happen. They're not out there to buy. So inherently, the item that we produce, you need to have made by a professional. One of our strengths are our people. So we have really skilled people who are very versatile in the work that they can do. And we have a lot of different machinery between both of our locations that's also versatile on what we can do. So we're able to offer many different types of tables, many different types of designs at any size, you name it, we can essentially build it. That's hard for someone to have enough equipment to build really whatever table you want. We're always adventurous. So we're not afraid to have someone come to us and want a 30-foot table made of quartz that you would have on a countertop. A lot of people would turn that away and say, oh my goodness, I don't know how to do that. Well, we took the job because we have really smart people and really good engineering to figure out how to build it before we even do anything.
As his business continues to expand, Greg talks about the importance of cultivating skilled tradesmen.
While it's not as prominent as it used to be, there are still some schools that have woodworking programs that then, kids will go to places like Thaddeus Stevens and come out and be ready to work in the workforce. This type of work, it's very hard for someone to just pick it up. I do have an employee who was a biology teacher, and he picked it up really quickly, and he's doing great. But that's not what most people are going to do. The work just requires a high level of training. If we weren't in Western Chester County, I don't know where we'd even begin to find these people. But that being said, it is becoming harder and harder and harder to get someone out of the trade schools, to get someone out of the high schools. The programs need growth, they need energy, they need people, they need exposure so that people understand that these are viable careers. It's not sanding in a backwood shed. These are modern equipment, computerized equipment, extremely tight tolerances, and high-level engineering work that we do, even for a table.
Greg is very involved in the community.
In relation to woodworking, Octorara has its own sort of VOTEC program, trade program in-house, which is really unique program. I talked a lot about Thaddeus Stevens, but Octorara doesn't get enough credit for having their own program that you could even bypass going to Stevens and come out and be ready to work in the field. I serve as a representative from industry to help out with Matt Talley, who is the woodworking teacher there, in helping them to direct their curriculum, safety. We were able to get them a table saw donated this year that has a safety mechanism in it so that the kids don't cut their fingers off, which was really cool because no one wants to see that happen. We've been a member with the Chamber, I think, for 4 or 5 years, and the second company that we bought just joined. And I always try to make it out to a couple events, and we did have a networking tour here a few years ago, and we're hoping to have another one, maybe at the new location, once we can get through the pandemic and we can all be safe and well. And I serve as a volunteer fireman with East Brandywine and Keystone Valley Fire Departments. I live in the East Brandywine area, so I, whenever I'm home, go out on the calls there. But here at work, 3 of us are volunteer firemen. So any of the emergencies that happen in Parkersburg Borough, we stop what we're doing, go get on the truck, get the truck out, hurry back, and get back to work.
The pandemic has not affected their business. Due to their high demand, they've continued to produce quality furniture.
Sales really haven't dipped in furniture. We are a little nervous that 2021, since we're not out of the pandemic yet, it could be a really bad winter. We don't know what's coming. We're pretty optimistic that what we do, while it would seem like who's really spending money on what we do, people are. It's a statement piece. It's an important piece of the office. If you've grown a company for 20 years and you're outfitting your new building, you're putting money into your conference room. I mean, everybody is. You don't put a melamine table in and go, good enough. You've arrived somewhere and you want to show people that. In the mill workshop, it's been busier than we ever thought it would be, primarily because we're seeing people renovating their homes, renovating old buildings. Building really hasn't slowed down at all. Everything has really picked up.
We've learned a lot about what goes on behind the scenes of making custom furniture. Thank you, Greg, for showing us around, and we wish you all the success in the future. Alyssa Griffith, reporting for Western Chester County, checks in. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Alyssa, for that report, and thanks to Greg and his team for letting us visit. This story really does tie into the Time for the Trades event, which is coming up in December. So if you're more interested in the trades, we encourage you to attend that virtual event next month. We do have one other member minute segment this month, or this week rather. Donna and I had a chance to go out to Pope John Paul II Regional Catholic Elementary School to find out a little bit about the precautions and efforts that they've taken to allow their students to return to the classroom this fall.
Thanks, Justin. I'm Donna Steltz, reporting for the Western Chester County Chamber of Commerce, and we're here at Pope John Paul II Regional Catholic Elementary School, and we're going to go inside and talk with Acting Principal Patty Turquinio.
Pope John Paul II, it opened here on this campus in 2007. It was a consolidated school, Coatesville Consolidated, which was comprised of 5 parishes and 5 different schools that consolidated to one. And they started a capital campaign, I think like 25 years ago or so, and then opened here on this campus in 2007. In the world we're in, there's so much we can't control, and certainly the pandemic is one of those things. As leaders, we respond. And Pope John Paul decided to respond with compassion and research and hard work to bring the kids back into the classroom.
Pope John Paul's staff and leadership spent the summer months working on how to open safely.
We put together a pandemic team. We invited some teachers, some other administrators, and some staff members with specific talents and specific interests to put together that plan.
Acting Vice Principal Jill Wenzel explains how classes are subdivided into cohorts.
We knew that it was going to need to be fluid, and as our students came back, we adjusted a little bit. We mask all the time. Our students are socially distant. We are in cohorts. Our students from our infants in our daycare center all the way up through our 8th grade are cohorted. They're with the same group of people every day, all day.
Jill tells us a little bit about their lunchroom and art room configurations.
We did a lot of measuring in our cafeteria when we were getting ready to set it up. The hope was that we could have our students eat in the cafeteria instead of their classrooms. So we realized that because of the size of our multipurpose room, we had enough space to put 6 cohorts in the cafeteria at one time. We had to readjust our lunches so that we would have no more than 6 cohorts at one time, but we did it. We know it's important for our students to move sometimes, and our art room is an amazing space that has been able to be readjusted. Used to be art tables, now it's individual desks, but we've been able to keep our art room functional where students can come in and use the space. The lighting in there is just amazing, and I am so happy they can still use it for their art class.
One of the unique things PJP2 has done is creation of outdoor classrooms.
One of our PJP alumni, Lizzie Heinz, was working on her Girl Scout Gold Award, and she offered to make us a classroom for the outdoors. She put the whole thing together herself, and it's been so well received that she built us another one last weekend.
Patty talks about the need for fundraising.
As a non-public school, we don't have funds from the federal government the way public schools do, not that we can rely on. We're tuition based. However, tuition has to be reasonable so that we don't price people out of being able to achieve, the kind of education that they want. So we have to do consistent and aggressive fundraising throughout the year in order to be able to meet our normal expenses.
Business sponsorship is an important aspect of their community financial support.
Area businesses are very important to us for several reasons. First of all, there's the community support that they offer us and that we can offer to them. So it connects the school community with the business community, and that is always important for success in an area. They also can offer a level of giving that individuals cannot. We offer them sponsorships at our local golf outing that we run every year. Again, we get donations from them to be offered off at our auction. The kids can reach out to them, and our advancement director Maria reaches out to them to sponsor during the Dash for Cash. They have been especially helpful this year because, as you can imagine, we already struggle to pay for everything we want to do in a normal year. But the cost of implementing the health and safety plan during COVID has increased our expenses exponentially.
Our students are still working hard. We're still using our technology. We're learning different ways to use our technology, but the students are still being able to learn and have class discussions in different ways. It just looks different. It looks a little more traditional, but our instruction and our education is still 21st century.
Faith-based education is the foundation of PJP2, and Jill tells us how they're accommodating services.
Father Fitzpatrick, the pastor at St. Peter's, he offered to do 2 masses for us on our first Fridays. So we take our students over in cohorts. They are socially distant as we go to Mass. We are able to still participate in Mass together, which is amazing. Every year we do a Living Rosary, usually in church. This year we took the Living Rosary outside and had that be celebrated outside. We're still able to go over and celebrate the Sacrament of Reconciliation in the church. It's taken some planning and a lot of flexibility, but our Catholic identity is who we are.
During a time when I think some people are having questions about whether or not they want their children in school, and I just think because of what we've been through and what we have accomplished here always, and especially this year, I feel confident that Pope John Paul will continue to grow and be a force in the community and simultaneously be supported by the community.
Thanks, Donna, for that report, and thanks to the team at Pope John Paul for letting us visit and find out more about your school. That'll do it for our episode today. Join us again for our next show, which will be December 2nd. We are actually going to be coming live from our presenting sponsor, Stoltzfus Feed Supply, so that should be a really fun time. From behalf of myself, the Chamber staff, and our team, wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving next week, and we will see you in December.